Hey, what's going on, everybody? Strider's back with another episode of ELO Heaven, this time with a brand new format. Today we are going to be going basically towards a more Day 9 focus type of show, where we're basically just going to focus on one individual player. In this particular game, we're going to be focusing on bobqinXD. He's a phenomenal Lee Sin. I don't know if many of you are familiar with how he plays or what he plays, but he's so very good. I definitely recommend checking him out. I don't know if he has any guides out or videos. I'm not really sure, but he's just an amazing Lee Sin player. So check him out. We're going to go ahead and kind of get to where he is going to be. For the most part, you know, standard build. He's going to start with boots and 3 potions. This is basically going to give him some nice sustain, some good movement speed, you know, just to get to ganks faster, which is exactly where he wants to be. Lee Sin's a very strong early ganker. As long as he can hit those sonic waves, it's going to be phenomenal for him. Alright, so now what we see here is that we're going to have 2 members of the red team. And it looks like they're going to be invading, right? And as you can see here, they're just waiting for these minions to spawn. So once they spawn, red team is going in, and they are spotted out by the blue team. And now, right now, Lee Sin goes, he says, okay, there's only 2 of them. I'm going to cut off their retreat. And that's exactly what he does. And that is phenomenal. Not many people do that. They think it's a little bit too ballsy. So basically what he does here is he also throws in an auto attack and then runs away. What that did is that gave Graves that free kill. So he picked up first blood, and he's like, you know what, I don't need 2 kills. The first one was just to eliminate the fight, like disengage the fight, so they had no chance of winning, right? The second one was like, hey, I don't need this. Graves, take it. It will help snowball your bottom lane. And that's exactly what he does. And also pay attention to what he does with each one of his spells. Now, if we slow it down a bit, he's going to wait for a leash, but he'll also, okay, he's going to throw out, he's going to auto attack, and then right after he auto attacks, he's going to throw out a spell here in a second. Yeah, okay, so he throws out a spell and then auto attacks twice. After the second one, bam, he's going to follow up on his auto attack immediately. What that does is that utilizes his flurry passive instantly. So he's going to get those 2 40% attack speed auto attacks from, you know, his passive, and then follow up with another ability and refresh it right away. So right when that second auto attack lands, he is bam right on top of it. And that's phenomenal. Like, wasting literally as little time as you can and having that flurry passive as frequently as possible is definitely going to help your jungle. He also saved smite because he had a phenomenal leash. He knew that Leona was going to have to go back eventually, so he's like, whatever, I'll just save smite. And at this point, you can see that he will go top. He rushed for that ping as well. So right when he finished blue, he's like, I'm going to go top. I need to ping. So he throws out the ping. And now he's basically waiting for Nasus to bait out the Jax. And that's exactly what you need to do while ganking. If you can bait it out, it's just perfect. And I also want to show you something here. Alright, so we're going to show only Red's vision. And as you can see, he is not visible when he goes around that corner. Absolutely phenomenal job. He was 100% aware of how the creep line was going, and not many people do that. It's very difficult to get around that creep line without being spotted, and he just did it perfectly, absolutely perfectly. So now at this point, again, he's just going to wait for Jax to make a stupid move. He's going to get a little bit of auto attacks. He's going to initiate on. He notices that counter strike started, so before he can even get stunned, he's going to safeguard to a minion right away, and he is ignited. So he's going to go into this bush, kind of bait it out, and then wait for Shen to throw as much damage as he can. But Lee Sin is going to be able to follow up. A great job by Nasus getting on that wither, and this is going to give, oh, great flash by Shen. He's going to miss it, but he's still applying that pressure. He did force Shen to use that flash. He's going to safeguard now to the Nasus. Nasus is taking the tower damage, and that's not good because Lee Sin could have been attacking that whole time. And this is going to be really bad. Now that he's back into the fight, he's going to flash, going to give Nasus that kill, as well as tank the tower. And that is going to be really, really good for him. So basically what he's done at this point is he has snowballed bottom lane with a kill, that really early kill for Graves, and now he is starting to snowball Nasus at the top lane, which is really good. So that's phenomenal of what he's doing. He's doing a great job as a jungler, and this is exactly what he needs to be doing. And if he can continue to do it like this, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. So now we're just going to kind of get on to the next most important part. And as we can see here, it looks like, okay. So right now he's going to wait for Jax. He waits until Jax gets in the bush right away, and now he's going to try to get away from that counter strike, but now he just cuts off his retreat. Unfortunately, he misses the Sonic Wave, but he's still going to be able to follow up with quite a bit of damage. And this is great for Lee Sin, because Lee Sin is very safe in a jungle. He can get around from creep wave to creep wave, or jungle creeps to jungle creeps, gets a lot of lifesteal, and now what he's doing is he's going to fall back. And he fell back in vision of these red creeps. So now Jax is going to come back and says, okay, now that Lee Sin's at half health, he's probably backed off since he's out of vision now. So Lee Sin's going to stay out of vision here, wait for Nasus to do another... Uh-oh, here we go. A Wither coming in, a great safeguard going on to Nasus, going to help prevent any form of damage possible. But Shen is in this bush and they're unaware of it. They do not have a ward there, and this is going to be really bad. Lee Sin missing that Sonic Wave. It does happen, but now, the taunt on the Lee Sin is going to cause quite a lot of problems. And at this point, he knows he needs to get away. He doesn't have any minions close, and his safeguard is down for another 2 seconds. So he's going to go into this bush. He's going to juke right back out of it. So right when he loses vision, he's going to juke back out of it. And he has 65 health at this point. Safeguard is up. He just needs to get to a minion. And he gets to a minion, but the safeguard is not powerful enough. What this does, though, is this also wasted Jax's flash. And that is also extremely good. Since top lane is already kind of snowballing, Jax without a flash is really going to help out that Nasus even more. But it was just a phenomenal job. Let's see if we can get back to what Lee Sin is doing. And now, as you can see, right, he knows exactly what happens. So Nasus died, and he says, okay, there's a giant creep wave pushing, so what I'm going to do is that I know Jax is going to recall, because it's pretty typical. After you get a call, you push lane as hard as you can, and then you recall to buy. So Lee Sin's basically just soaking up all the experience, soaking up all the gold, but not pushing as hard as he could if he really, really wanted to, because he does not want to do that. So let's see if we can get to the next part that I want to show you guys. Alright, so now at this point, Lee Sin is going to come in here, and Vayne shut down Graves' killing spree. And that's really good for her. So he was going to check bottom just to try to get a free kill, because usually when you get a kill, people get really overconfident. And so he's like, okay, he died. Now I'm going to go bottom to see if I can get a free kill off of their overconfidence. Fortunately enough, Vayne was not going to fall for it, and that's really good for her. So they ended up going back, just buying as much as they could. Now what he's going to do is he's going to go through the river, and right about this time, blue buff should be spawning. As you can see on his side of the map, blue buff is up, and so he's going to check their blue buff to see if Shen is ganking or if he's on his normal jungle route. And that was a really great check. So now he knows that Shen is not ganking. He's going to throw out the safeguard, though, protect Leona, but now Rumble is completely out of position, surrounded by 2 members. He is going to Dragon's Rage. It's going to go right into Graves, tries to give him the kill. It's just not going to quite be enough. Leona and Graves go down for the 1 kill onto that Lee Sin. It didn't work out quite as planned, but it does happen. So, as you can see, he's going to back off a little bit here, and then he will come back. He's just going to, go back to jungling, do what he needs to do, but right when the creeps get to the tower, he's in that lane. He's ready to go. He's ready to push the creeps back or make sure he gets as much gold and experience as possible. He doesn't want to waste it, and that's exactly what's important. That's what a good jungler does. A jungler that can cover a lane effectively, get there as soon as possible, not push it hard unless it's absolutely needed, but not push it hard, just soak up the experience and get all the last hits, which as you can see was phenomenal at last hitting at that tower. But you'll also notice that he will always have a ward. In his slot, or in his inventory right now, he has 3 wards. Those 3 wards, he's basically just going to put them in places where there's holes in their ward coverage, as well as pretty much always keep one so he can ward over a wall and then safeguard to it pretty much immediately. And that's very, very useful. As you can see, he did ward right around that Wraith brush. He's going to get away from this Blitzcrank pretty much as soon as possible. At this point, we'll go to the next one. He is going to go down here, and we will fast forward to the next part. Okay. So, he notices that Rumble is basically been going through this bottom tri-bush and spamming up here a lot. So what he's going to do is he's going to ward this tri-brush to help prevent Rumble from surprising him, since Rumble is getting a little bit scary. He's 4-1-1 right now, and they really need to prevent that. And there we go. There goes this ward there. He is going to, again, push the wave just a little bit. Try to get a little bit of damage on Rumble, but just not quite able to follow up. And they do have a ward in there, so it's not going to do too much. And he is spotted out, and he knows that a ward is there because of that minion. He also knows Shen is there because he put a ward over there. Rumble is going to try to use some of his cooldowns. And at this point, they're just going to split apart because their mobility is so ridiculously high that they're able to do that. Okay, now what he's going to do, he notices that Leona's about to get towered over because they have minions here and now they're running past it. So he's going to go down immediately as soon as possible. Leona's going to go in, try to throw out a little bit of damage, but Safeguard actually lands onto a creep instead of Leona. It gets that RQ or QRQ combo, which is really, really good for Lee Sin. He's going to save that Leona just in case she gets grabbed, and now he's just going to follow up with that Sonic Wave Resonating Strike and do as much damage as he can. He sees that Rumble's coming in. Rumble's going to get that ultimate, and it's going to do a lot of damage to his Katarina. So what he's going to do is he's going to safeguard directly to her and also tank that electromagnetic harpoon, which is the slow, as much as possible so he can help Katarina get away. At this point, he notices Shen up here, and it just wasn't going to happen, so he runs towards Graves, which is his best chance of surviving. So overall, great play by him. He's very aware of the map. He's aware of where everybody is at what time. And so now you can see that he knows at this point that they are going to go for the dragon. And the reason he knows this is because Rumble's there, who has insanely high DPS, and Shen's there, which is their jungler, and he most likely has Smite up. So what he's going to do, again, he does have a ward. He will always have a ward. He's going to throw a ward in that dragon, and he gets a little angle. He's going to snap. Shen tanks that Sonic Wave, and what he's going to do, he's waiting for this dragon to get low enough. See, he's at 700, 500, 565. He's going to smite it mid-air, perfectly smite stolen. And then he's going to just finish off the Shen as he's slowed from getting attacked by the dragon. And also gives that kill to the Graves. And at this point, this is also another phenomenal move. He is going to chase this Rumble. Of course, because they have it. As far as they're concerned, this is a free kill. So at this point, Rumble is running towards this blue buff, and he doesn't know why. So he's going to ward it just to make sure that Vayne and Blitzcrank are not there. They know it's clear, so they're just going to clean up this kill. Again, he just gives vision for Graves to give him a free kill. Another phenomenal assist job coming out from the Lee Sin. And that's what makes a jungler good and bad, is the difference between good and bad junglers, is being able to get those assists. Leona tanks that grab, which is really good for Leona. I don't know if Graves is in range of that, but he is going to safeguard directly to Leona. And at this point, he notices that Graves is exhausted, so they don't want to go on to the Vayne quite yet. He's gonna follow up on this Blitzcrank and just execute him real quick with that Dragon's Rage. He is really low, so he didn't really want to continue in this fight, but since she is focusing on somebody else, he's going to be able to basically perfectly line up that Sonic Wave, so there's nowhere she could have ran. He's going to pick up this kill, and then he's going to safeguard immediately to this Grave, so he takes less damage from the tower. But unfortunately, it goes on Katarina after that. Just overall phenomenal job by Lee Sin, just doing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And as you can see, he did stop attacking blue as soon as she got grabbed. It's almost like he was expecting it to happen, and that's very, very rare for people at any ELO. So he knew exactly what was going on, when it was going to happen, and at this point they know that they're in their blue buff. So what he's going to do is he will go ahead and face check this brush with the ward, so he knows that Shen's there now. And now he knows that they're going to go for it, so he's going to ward over the wall just to see if it's still alive so that they can pick it up. Unfortunately, the blue buff was already stolen, so he couldn't smite steal it. He did have a smite up, he was ready for it. Just wasn't going to happen. And then as we move along, we're going to get to about 1830 here. He's going to push down this tower pretty heavily, but they are able to save it without any problems. And this is where the first real team fight comes in. He's going to safeguard to help absorb some of the damage, but Vayne still does a lot. But now she's taking the tower, and this is going to be perfect. So this is a great time for them to kind of turn around since she took a tower shot. And now he has enough HP items at this point to where he can tank a pretty fair amount. So he waits for a free Sonic Wave after he does this, because they definitely want to kill those minions, especially that. And Katarina does a great job at AoE wave clearing. So at this point, he's gonna wait. He's gonna really want to wait for that free Sonic Wave. Again, they're gonna have to clear out these minions. And a great Wither coming out. The Tumble just barely getting her out of that Solar Flare. But as you can see, Leona is way deep in. And now Blitzcrank is gonna have a field day. He silences everybody. Almost everybody on the team, and now Leona's completely caught out of position by 3 members. This leaves Rumble completely by himself. So the Sonic Wave getting on to Blitzcrank, getting him behind Rumble, gonna give him a free Dragon's Rage to kick Rumble into the tower as well as his teammate. Beautiful play, and then he's gonna follow up by slowing him down with Cripple and Tempest. And now he's going to back out of the fight, kind of bait them towards the tower, which wasn't going to happen. Vayne wants to get in this fight for a free kill. What he's going to do is he's going to kill this Vayne immediately. And that's, again, exactly what a jungler wants to do. If they can take out the carry, that is what they need. And at this point, he knows Katarina has Shumpo as well. So he doesn't even have to save her. She has the lifesteal. She has everything she needs. And now they're just going to kill this Rumble, basically get a free kill, and also run towards the Graves. And this is a great play by them. And now Jax is going to get that free kill. Unfortunately, Lee Sin was a tad bit too late on that and wasn't able to pick it up. Katarina is now coming in, doing quite a bit of damage. It looks like that Counter-Strike is going to be able to successfully get him away. It's going to definitely force everybody to back off, because if Lee Sin got stunned there or Katarina, either one of them could have died, and they definitely don't want to just feed a Jax a kill for another kill. 1 for 1 is almost never ever worth it. Okay, so at this point, he knows that he's just going to continue to jungle, but now he knows that 3 of them are bottom. He's going to ward check that brush, which is going to help him a lot. Blitzcrank almost gets grab on him, but unfortunately, nothing happens. And even if it did, he could have safeguarded to this ward anyway. But as you can see, he's going to come in here and he's just going to continue to jungle. As long as they're not pushing in any harder than they are right now, which is almost nothing, he can continue to farm. And sometimes people are really afraid of farming. And now, actually, I really want to show you this. He stays in this brush because it's one of the least likely brushes to be warded, or for them to have coverage in. Because even if they have a ward here, which would still be odd, or here, which would still be odd, they wouldn't be able to see in this brush. And having a ward in this brush is almost useless. So Lee Sin's going to camp out there until he sees that 3 of them are bottom. And now he's really going to go in. He needs to safeguard directly to that Graves. And right when Shen's ult shows up, all 3 of them back off. And that was a really great job. They're going to let this tower go down because they know that there's absolutely nothing that they're going to be able to do to stop that. Let's see that one more time. Again, right when you see Shen ult, right starts to come up, he gets that, tries to slow down. Unfortunately, Blitzcrank does not pursue. They are able to pick up this tower, and once again, they go directly for the dragon. And as you see, Lee Sin knows that they're going to go for dragon, because once again, Shen is at bottom, Rumble's there. He's like, okay, jungle spawned. We know exactly when it's spawning because they got the last one. They know that they're going to go for it. So he's going to do the same exact thing. Unfortunately, he did not throw a ward in there, but somebody else will. Yes, let's see as Leona does. He's going to try to go for that Sonic Wave, but he's not going to be able to pick it up this time, which is unfortunate, but it was a very nice try. And as you can see, he just prepared for it. He was in that bush. He was waiting. So even if they did ward over like they did, he wouldn't have gotten caught. And that's perfect. That's exactly what he needs to do. Alright, so now he notices Katarina is getting caught out of position. So he is... Let me go back a little bit. Katarina is going to get caught out of position here in just a second. And he's going to safeguard to her, or give her something to Shumpo to. Unfortunately, her Shumpo is down, so he's just going to try to safeguard to her. And as he does, and as you can see right away, he's going to Dragon's Rage and CC both members. He Dragon Rages Rumble away, but also knocks up Blitzcrank in the process, getting a cripple onto the Blitzcrank as well. And this is going to provide Katarina with a free escape. And then he throws another Sonic Wave into the brush just to get the vision, just to see if they're going to continue to chase. He gets grabbed for it, but he's able to get away, and it's not going to be a huge deal. Rumble ends up just running away. They probably could have done a little bit more damage, but it doesn't really matter. And here, a team fight kind of starts off at bottom, and Lee Sin knows this, and obviously he's gonna try to get engaged in here as soon as possible. Now they know that Rumble's ult is down. Leona's gonna turn around, get a free Zenith Blade onto the Rumble, do quite a bit of damage, but Lee Sin is gonna go directly for this Blitzcrank because they were able to completely catch out Shen and Blitzcrank from that combination. Let's see that one more time. Alright, so here's what he does. He stays in this bush, so they don't even know he's here. They're going to exhaust Graves, but now, unfortunately, he does miss it. But Katarina does so much damage that they're able to instantly blow up 2 members. And as you can see, he protects the AD carry, and then he leads the charge. So right when the threat's eliminated, he leads the charge perfectly. He lands a beautiful Sonic Wave, follows up on it, gets that 1, 2 auto attacks, and then throws out the Tempest and Cripple, and also tanks the slow, and that's perfect for him. He can tank the slow. There's absolutely no problems with that. Once he notices there's an Ignite on Rumble, he just backs off because there's no reason to chase anymore at that point. But he has so much mobility that tanking that electromagnetic harpoon has absolutely no effect on him, so it's not bad at all. And this is just going to be a little skirmish, but nothing's really going to happen. So we are going to go back up here. Alright, so at this point, there's a lot of people up top. So they're debating what they want to do. As you can see, Shen and Jax are both going up top. So they're going to try to do a little wraparound Jones here. And try to flank both of them since Nasus kind of caught out of position. So what Lee Sin is going to do is he's going to ward this tri-bush, their enemy tri-brush, which is beautiful, just to see if anybody else is coming. He knows no one else is coming quite yet, but he does see Blitzcrank, so he knows that there's going to be another person, and then he pings them, which is great. And now he's just going to wait in this bush and wait for the bait. Shen goes back in, and as you can see, he thinks about going in onto the Jax, but he decides to just zone out the Blitzcrank as much as possible. And that's great, because if Blitzcrank can get completely zoned out of the fight, that's a lot less CC and presence. But then he sees the Vayne. Vayne is a much more high priority target since she's the one that's going to be doing all the damage. He's going to get vision on her even if she's in the brush from that sonic wave, and he's going to go directly in on her. Unfortunately, he does get stunned against the wall from that condemn, which is absolutely beautiful, by the way. Rumble gets the ultimate, but still, Lee Sin is there and he's ready to fight. So he's gonna just continue to go in. He's gonna completely zone Vayne out of the fight, completely hunt her down. She's forced to auto attack him, which he's okay with because he does have the HP that is needed in order to tank that out. Shen gets completely caught out of position by using his taunt, trying to get two people. Not a very well coordinated attack, and that was exactly where the tables have turned. He throws down the ultimate onto Vayne right before he dies just for the shield. It's not going to be enough, and Lee Sin is going to completely follow up onto this Rumble, because Rumble's going to do the next quite a bit amount of damage since Jax is already incredibly low. And again, he's going to just stick onto that Graves. Anytime a safeguard's up, he's safeguarding to the Graves. And that's exactly what he needs to do. He just keeps him as safe as possible. Gives a free kill, and yes, he's just going to keep assisting as much as possible. Doing a wonderful job. The main thing, a really great goal as a jungler, is just to keep your AD carry alive. If you can do that, you're golden. You're golden. It's just not something that a lot of people do. You zone out their AD carry and you protect your AD carry. At this point, he's going to ping the Baron and just tank it for their team, which is exactly what they need to do at this point in time. And then they're all going to go back and they're just going to, do exactly what they need to do to try to go for a final push. And at this point, they are going to go in mid. They're going to rush it really hardcore. Red team is busy taking the dragon, so they're going to have some time, and they're going to be able to zone it. At this point, the blue team is just tanking this tower, which is fine. And now Lee Sin, he is debating whether he wants to help out in this fight, which isn't quite a 5v5 yet, or if he just wants to take the tower. So he's just going to continue to start attacking the tower. And while his whole team is completely backed off, he just baits them. He stays there. He's tanky enough to where it doesn't matter. They use a taunt as well as a power fist. Now he's going to ward, safeguard, and then Dragon's Rage Shen into his team, mainly the Graves, and that is going to be a free kill, all because he did a phenomenal bait, and Shen doesn't have any way of getting away because his taunt is already down. So Lee Sin is going to continue to completely zone out the Blitzcrank, try to cut off his escape entirely, which forces Blitzcrank to go back towards the team fight, which is fine. This whole time, Lee Sin is tanking the tower. He's going to, again, cut off any form of escape that Jax could possibly have, and again, he's just going to completely follow up, and now he is going to tank the inner tower as well. So this whole time, he's just tanking the tower for his entire team as they're fighting and trying to win this team fight. And they do significantly win this team fight. Nobody really focused Lee Sin, and they were able to tower dive without any consequences. And that was just an overall phenomenal job. Just absolutely beautiful. He basically just sits here at this point and uses his passive to end the game. That's all he does. He just utilizes his passive as much as possible. He waits. Right after those two auto attacks, he throws down a spell. Right after those two auto attacks, he uses a spell again immediately. As you can see, he's just doing a great job at it, and they're going to be able to finish this fight up for this entire game. Overall, it's just, again, phenomenal player, phenomenal play overall by this Lee Sin, of course by both teams. Really, really great game. I really wanted to showcase this game because the games were that close. I just really want to stress that it's hard to master a champion. It takes many, many games. A lot of people say, you know, play the same champion over and over and over again, and that's how you gain ELO. And in a way, I do agree, because you will continually get better at that champion. You'll notice that at a higher level of play, you can play that champion at an extreme higher level of play than all of your other champions. And that's good and bad. The fact that you can play at that level is phenomenal. You know, congratulations, great job for you. But if that champion gets picked or banned, then you're playing at, you know, 200 to 300 to 400 ELO lower on all of your other champions. It's really, really bad. And so that's why I typically say, you know, you want to have a good 500 games under your belt on about 2 or 3 different champions before you go into ranked. If you want to expect to succeed, you need to play, I would personally say, about 1,000 to 1,500 games of normal. That's complete rough estimate. That's what I did. I know that's what a lot of other people did. It's just one of those things that helps out quite a lot, especially for me, since I had no past Dota experience. I've never played one of these types of games before, so it's completely different. But again, guys, thanks for all of your support. Let me know how you like the new format. I think this is a little bit more geared towards specific champions and specific players. So the requests that you guys send me all the time, I think I can kind of please you guys a little bit more than just doing overall game commentaries. The reason I changed it up is because I'm not really all that big on doing play-by-play. I really like the analytical, more in-depth, even numbers-based type of thing, and that's what I like doing, and that's what I would continue to like doing. You know, of course, I'm here for you guys, so if you guys want play-by-play and overall game commentaries, I can definitely still do that. But I wanted to give this a try, see how you guys like it. So if you like the video, please press the like button, press that subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. If you want to see any next or previous videos, you can click on those ones as well. Outside that, thanks guys for everything, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.